morning, Rodrigo. This is Andrea. Welcome to Miami. I know that everybody's asking you about Lionel Messi, whether you came here for him. I read somewhere that you admired David Beckham, that's why you chose number seven. How much David Beckham was involved to convince you to join this team, and whether you're thinking about changing your number? Hello, good morning, everyone. Well, of course, David influenced my decision. As we all know, I enjoyed his game, his way of being and living, something I admired. So when I was speaking to him, he told me he wanted me to be part of this project that he is very committed to, and he created this team from the beginning. So it is amazing to have people that are so important in our sport to have that interest to add at the end to a final decision. There were several factors involved to uh, make me take this decision. Now, in terms of the number in my jersey, of course, seven is a number I like a lot, but uh, my decision around what number I wanted to play with, the club asked me to use that number for the relationship that I have with that number and with my national team. I understand that they have spoken to Fafa about it, and it's a number I love, but it was not only my decision. Hello, Rodrigo. Juan Ballesteros from Televisión Pública. I wanted to learn about the timeline of this decision. It seemed to be all of a sudden that this decision happened. I don't know if you were speaking with Leo about this before, whether you spoke with Scaloni about this opportunity, whether there was a need for him to okay this. Well, I mean, with Leo, I've always had the dream to play together in a club, to share the day to day. Every time we would meet in the national team, the day to day was amazing. But at the end of the day, it ended up being quite short. And I also wanted to feel that sensation of playing alongside the best, the greatest of all time, right? So as the months went by, we started talking about it seriously. And yeah, the possibility kind of happened overnight. The situation arose. It was not necessarily what I was looking for. I had a contract with Atletico de Madrid. It was a little hard, but they wanted to make the effort. I was always clear that at the end, the final decision was rested on the club. But of course, the dream was there and things moved along. And as the clubs were having this conversation, I started to feel that it could become a reality. I've always walked through my career quite calmly, understanding that the most important thing for me is the national team. And obviously, I spoke with Leo, with Scaloni, and it was very clear on what he needed from me to continue being part of the project of our national team, which has made us uh, so happy throughout the years. So, understanding that we have been working for so long, he told me, I know what you can give me on the field. I know your talent. Um, so, whenever you play, as long as you keep yourself healthy, I know what kind of player you are. And that was, of course, the words that I needed to make my final decision. Rodrigo, welcome. You are recognized as being a key piece in the golden years of the Argentinian national team. At the level of the national team, you've done so great, but at the level of the clubs and the teams, there's still something to do. Are you living with a sensation of bittersweet from Atletico de Madrid? And what do you think in terms of Atleti? This is a team that invests a lot, but doesn't necessarily win so much. Of course, I would have loved to win a tournament with Atletico. When I was there, of course, that was the dream. Many of us worked for that purpose. We were close. At the end of the day, in soccer, you lose more than you win. Of course, I would have loved to get a title with Atleti. And what does Atleti need? I mean, I don't know. They are competing team, one of the biggest in Spain, and at the end of the day, the way that things are done in Atleti, they will get there. It's not easy to compete against Barcelona or Real Madrid, but they always do compete. So I think that that title they so deserve will eventually come. Hello, Rodrigo. Congratulations and welcome. This is Alonso from Hola. The human side of things is also important, right? So, how has this transition been for you? Living your life in Spain, coming to Miami, which has become the epicenter of soccer with Inter Miami. And the lifestyle here is very different as well. So, I'd like to know about your transition coming into Miami. And could you talk about the first time that you came into the field with your kids? Yeah, I mean, obviously, the human factor, human side of things is very important. Miami is a city that I know, um, that I like. And at the end, I think that this transition has not been difficult at all. The most important thing for a football player is to be on the pitch, and everything else revolves about that, around that. So we want to play soccer. We live for that. That's what we've done our whole lives. And my decisions always go through that lens. Of course, the context um, influences everything. Of course, if you have other responsibilities, but they involve in a secondary way. The most important thing for me is to play soccer. It's what I love to do. And of course, going into the stadium with my kids on the day of the presentation, the day that I won't forget ever. I'm very appreciative to the club in the way that they have taken care of my family and me. And not only this was important for my kids, that to this day they write about it and they tell me about it with that understanding that, of course, it's a one time thing, but they want to do it again. So, I mean, they were very happy and enjoying that is amazing because at the end of the day, you're only left with moments. So I appreciate the club's effort to make that day a good one. Hello, Rodrigo. What would you tell the Argentinian fans that are concerned about your level when you come to the World Cup next year? I mean, this is whose fans are worried. I mean, Argentina are worried because here you have an insured place. You played the 90 minutes and you just came, so you are gonna have here a place in this team, right? So, what would you tell the fans? that are perhaps concerned. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you spoke to some. In Argentina, we are a lot of people, 50 million. I don't think they're concerned about me. They know me for a while. They know what I can do in a team, what I can do for my team. So, I mean, hopefully I can be in the World Cup. It's still a year away. I will prepare in the same way that I prepared for the last one. And the most important thing is to play for me. And there's some things that you can only achieve inside the field and competing. To get to a World Cup, you need to play as many games as possible, and this is what I will try to do here. Obviously, this year we will aim to get as many titles as possible with Inter, and um, getting the opportunity to play as much as possible is what keeps me in rhythm, what keeps me alive, and I know what it is to wear the Argentinian national team jersey. So I know the commitment involved. I know the commitment from the fans whenever we go into an important competition like uh, Cup America or the World Cup. So the priority here is to stay healthy, try to stay away from injuries, and keep on playing. Hello, Rodrigo. Welcome to this your new home. So people talk about adaptation and processes, and you arrived on Wednesday without one training session. I don't think you've ever experienced that, and you played a 90-minute game the next day. So I noticed that you were also giving some instructions, and like if you were here for months already. Yeah, this is something I've never experienced before. And when I arrived, I spoke with Mache. He asked me if I was ready to play for a little bit, and I said, I'm ready for whatever you need me. If it's the whole game, I I can do that. I am in a good physical condition. Last season, I played the whole tournament, and we had the Clubs World Cup, and I feel good physically. And of course, we talked about that. And this is my way to play. I like to give instructions, to let my teammates know that I'm there. When I was young, I also had the luck of having some teammates that had more hierarchy, and when they tell you something, um, it means more, and you absorb that concept much better. So I take advantage of that position, and there are some places where your trajectory puts it, or the way that you are, and there are some other uh, spots that I think that, for example, I need to take on when things don't happen. So I feel like this is a responsibility that I have in terms of reducing the gap of having everyone in the same boat. Okay, so the question is when or since when I know Mascherano? I mean, my whole life almost. He was always a player in which we've all paid attention to. We followed his career closely. He has represented our country, and those who love soccer, we look up to him. So when he was the coach of the 20-year-old national team, sub 20, we started getting into a relationship with him, and I think that he is a coach that is going to fit very well with Inter Miami. He has the talent, he has the energy, his concepts are clear. So I think that all of us in the dressing room will learn much from him beyond the titles and the games. There will be some important concepts that we will learn from him, especially the young players, and also the link with my teammates, some of them that came from Racing as well. So these are some of the players that I've met recently as well. So as any team, the more you know your teammates, the better your game will be. You will start understanding everything what happens, which is not only the 90 minutes of the game. In general, most of those players I already knew. Hello, Rodrigo. Fernando Petrocelli. Wanted to ask you about, of course, at 31 years old, it is not usual that a player would come to MLS. But I want to ask you whether you were tired of being in Europe. Was that a personal decision for you? Or whether you'd like to go back to Europe? Or do you see Europe as a closed door? No, I didn't feel tired or overwhelmed. I mean, it was spectacular to be able to play in Europe, in the best leagues in the world, to play so many Champions Cups. So this was a personal decision in terms of the fact that I want to learn about this league. I want to be part of this growth. And those decisions that one make in this way should be based around growth. And of course, when Leo came into Inter, I think that Inter is starting to write their pages in history, and I want to be part of it and to set a precedent, right? For so that players don't come here only for the end of their careers. Um, we want players to feel like coming into this club is a commitment to the city and to the fans. After the World Cup and at my age, perhaps the easiest thing would be to stay in Europe. I had a lot of offers, but I've always liked a challenge, and I want to see if I can push my limits. I am a person that does not. I am not a conformist. I feel actually a lot of pressure based on who I am, and I know that I will be demanded of, and I want the pages where Inter is writing uh, will show that a player at his age and having won titles uh, wanted to come here to play. And this is similar to what happened to Leo when he came over. He's just helped MLS grow. Hello, Rodrigo. My question is, how much did you know of this league before coming in? And of course, it was 90 minutes, your first 90 minutes. But were you surprised of the level of the League's Cup? I mean, I knew the league very well. After the arrival of Leo, um, I try to watch my friends wherever they play. So it was complicated to watch those games in Europe, but I would usually turn it on and see what the league was about. So I watched a lot of MLS. I know it very well. I think that the league has a good level. I mean, I've read many comments about that. Some people disagree, but this is a league that I like. And what was most surprising is the level of intensity in which Inter trains. And we need to perhaps measure our trainings because we are coming into an important game, but the intensity, the quality is something that is surprising. And of course, I knew from Leo and my other teammates that we have an amazing group. And I think we will be very, very close to winning this tournament. This is the end of the press conference. Thank you very much.